This from Josh. My first full distance is in June, so right around the corner. What is your top tip for a first timer at the distance?
One tip, there's a lot.
Yeah.
But I think more than anything, uh, race it like you trained it. Meaning you're going to go into this thing and have a plan, a pacing plan, a nutrition plan, a mental strategy plan based on how you just trained for the last 4, 6, 9, 12 months, however long it took you to prepare for your first one. Just go out there, pretend it's another day of training, and don't go out of your zones. If you have a certain RPE, heart rate, power zone that you've trained in, that you plan to use, just stay within that and have your own race and don't focus on anyone else.
Yeah, I think that the pacing is pretty important, and not lowering your expectations, but go into it with the finishing mind of I'm going to finish the race today, and don't train above what you said, what your training capacity has been or your speeds have been. Maybe add 15% to whatever your previous pace is as a solo event. If you're swimming an hour and a half for your swim, maybe add 10 minutes to it. Because you never know what this swim is going to be like.
Yeah,
Same with the bike.
That's good. That's good advice.
Same with the bike. Add some more time to it, and then the run is going to be even more time to it because it's the end of the race, and you've never done a full swim, bike, and run back to back yet because it's your first time. So you got 17 hours. Pace it, enjoy it, and then soak it in, and maybe make these little mental marks in your head of like, okay, what happened there? And just keep a running log. That way you can take notes later, so you can build on that experience for the next one. And experience is your best ally in these races. As you were just saying about your Coeur d'Alene race. All right, I've done this before. Okay, patience. Where I was, the reason why I was so frantic in the Arizona thing is I was hoping for a PR. I ended up getting a PR, but I let the moment, and I even knew what I was going through at the moment. Like stop, but I couldn't stop. I was so, and I was a little bit fresh because I had 15 minutes to relax.
Right.
And I was halfway through, and I still ended up having a great bike that day. But you still battle with yourself even with experience, and that was that was Ironman number 4, I think, maybe for me. So anyways, that's my top tip is the pacing for the first full distance.
Yeah.
This from Kathy. Curious, what mistakes have you made or know from other athletes have made the week before their main event? And maybe this is Olympic and higher.
Oh, yeah. And this is a great question. So I'm going to go by my own experience back in the day when I started in the 90s. There wasn't really many books out there. My first real training book I ever read was 1997. It was Joe Friel's Training Bible. But I had been doing triathlons already for 5 years. And I had a swimming background. So swimmers, we used to train hard every single day. And so my biggest mistake early on was I didn't know how to taper. I didn't really even know what that was. Like I didn't know phases of training or periodization or rest and recovery. I just loved to train. And so I would train hard up until race day. And I probably took the day off before because I was probably a travel day. Maybe indirectly, maybe I took a little bit more rest the week before. I have no idea because there were no training logs. There was no Garmin's. There was no way to track what you were doing back then. And I would go into races really tired. I do remember that part. I do remember one specifically, the Lubbock, Texas. This used to be called Buffalo Springs half Ironman. It wasn't a 70.3 yet, but it was in Lubbock, Texas. And I trained so well, and I was wanting to qualify for Kona that year, and I was exhausted. And it was actually, that race was a learning experience for me to say, why are you so tired? What could you have done differently to not be so tired leading up to this race? And so that's when I started really wanting to figure out this sport and how to train properly. So I think a lot of athletes go into race week amped up. They could have a taper plan, but they don't want to follow it, and they might either do too much of their sport the week before due to lack of experience or just anxiety, and they just want to train more, or because they're tapering off their training, reducing the volume, they go and do other sports. They'll go and play tennis for 3 hours with their friends, or go play football or soccer or basketball. And they start to use all this energy that they're supposed to save up, and they expend it doing something they don't normally do because they have more time and more energy. So I think that's the biggest mistake, is not allowing the body to rest and recover.
I think the mistakes I've made, and I don't think I've had maybe a couple of really good taper weeks, is that I won't do anything. Like I've almost stopped maybe on this Saturday or Sunday, and then Monday through Friday is like, I feel maybe it's like I'm tired of all the training leading up to it. It's like, because in the plans, like a lot of the training plans that we put together on Training Peaks, it says, okay, go out and do a 30-minute easy ride followed by, a 10-minute run. I would skip those. Just like, I'm good. And then I'd skip the next one. I'm good. I don't want to go and do a 30-minute swim because it takes longer to travel there and prep there and get back and clean up than it does the actual swim. It's like, I'm good. And I think that would be my mistakes in the past, is like I've kind of thrown in the towel the week of. It's like I don't do anything. And then I'm not as loose on race days because you kind of just, all right, I'm still keeping the engine going, but I just haven't done anything. And then race day is like, it's a little rusty. I just don't feel, the fitness is there, but I feel like I need a little bit more into it. I need to break a sweat the day before. Another mistake that's coming up right now. I remember going to Boise 70.3 and thinking, the 2 days before travel day, and then I'm with my friends, and let's go out and do a little a tempo run, or let's do a couple hard efforts with a mile run or something like that. It's like I feel like those are the efforts I'm trying too hard at. It's like it's not going to make a difference. I'm trying to make up for last time. Like now I'm trying to do a training plan. You're not going to get it in the last couple days into a race.
Right.
I remember thinking, we're doing it right. Okay, cool. I'm training with other people. This is how you do it. Didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.